Earning tens of thousands of yuan a month, but equivalent to hundreds of millions of Vietnamese dong not including bonuses, is a dream figure for anyone, especially for young people who aspire to change their lives. Therefore, even though they realize that the job offers from these foreign-based companies are full of suspicious details, many people still take the risk, packing their suitcases and passports to cross the border, only to end up detained in closed camps, subjected to beatings, and becoming slaves in transnational scam organizations. Hello to all PhiaFim viewers. Although we have just welcomed the new year, mate, the news in recent weeks about Vietnamese citizens being repatriated, bringing with them chilling stories from Cambodia, has undoubtedly caused public concern. Witnessing these tragic events, we have to wonder, by what methods are these organizations still able to lure so many people? Despite constant warnings from newspapers and media outlets urging vigilance, why are today's scam operations still so difficult to eradicate? Sharing the same concerns? In 2023, director Chen Ao released a film called No More Bets, which vividly recreates the inner workings of an online scam operation from the victim's perspective. Inspired by thousands of real-life cases, this Chinese production not only achieved box office success, but was also banned and fiercely protested by the governments of Myanmar and Cambodia for tarnishing their national image. Moreover, the film's impact was so significant that it sparked a wave of fear, directly affecting the number of tourists from the billion-people nation traveling to Southeast Asia for vacations. Today, let's hold our breath and follow us as we go through all the sophisticated tricks used by the scam organization in No More Bets to understand why the age-old lesson about vigilance, no matter how many times it's repeated, is never enough. It all begins with Fan Xin, an exceptionally skilled Chinese programmer who is deeply dissatisfied with his current job. One day, he receives an offer from a strange company called Firefly, which advertises itself as offering easy work with high pay and proper accommodation and meals provided. Fed up with his current life, Fan Xin quits his job, packs his bags, and sets off with his new friends to seek a career in a foreign land. However, not even in his wildest dreams could he have imagined that this journey would lead him straight into hell. After luring the victims into accepting the job, the organization began its plan by confiscating their passports, the only proof of identity for a foreigner, immediately upon the plane's landing. Next, under the pretense of letting the group relax and have some fun before starting work, they took the victims to red light districts with lax security, where accomplices were already in place, blocked their way, beat them up, covered their heads with black bags, and then carried them off in vehicles. The kidnapping methods were so swift and effortless that it only took 10 minutes of screen time. Fan Xin, from being a citizen with full rights, had officially become a slave to the scam organizations. Following in the footsteps of these unfortunate programmers, we are taken even deeper into the criminal network run by a man known as Boss Luke. Located in an old remote building on the outskirts, the scam company is organized with remarkable discipline, divided into 3 levels, each corresponding to a specific role. At the bottom, in the shabbiest area, are the yellow-shirted employees known as Day Tuong, or simply put, the baiters, whose job is to seek out and lure potential victims. Their job is to chat with the victims, enticing them to participate in various schemes, ranging from stock investment, cryptocurrency mining, online gaming, to online gambling. Anything and everything is on offer. Here, the starting salary is 8,000 yuan, equivalent to nearly 28 million Vietnamese dong, not including sales bonuses. On the second floor, which is built completely differently, is the team of programmers and escape specialists responsible for programming, developing, and maintaining scam websites. This is a team similar to Fan Xin, educated and highly skilled. Manager Luke boasted that this team could create countless scam websites in an unimaginably short amount of time. Along with the quality, the starting salary here is 30,000 yuan, which is more than 100 million VND per month. As mentioned, this is a figure that is the dream of every worker. And finally, the most magnificent and splendid is the third floor, where a lineup of beautiful women are tasked with dealing cards online, spinning the wheel, playing baccarat, blackjack, poker, 3-card, Dragon Tiger, and other games. In short, all kinds of gambling games are available here, even including requests for nude photo shoots. Whatever the customer wants to play, it's all available here. Each table is a live online session, and anyone who wants to join can place a bet. And of course, just by looking at the number of tables, you can imagine how enormous the daily revenue must be. Manager A Tai said that in a casino, 10 people play with 1 deck of cards. But here, thousands of people can bet at the same time. The female dealers, of course, are also recruited illegally. We have Anna Luong, a beautiful advertising model who just lost her job. Realizing she was strapped for cash, the scam organization had people pose as successful business people to approach her, offering a sky-high salary of up to 100 to 150,000 yuan, which is nearly $500 million dong. Every month, the pit bosses, dealers, and even Anna all have KPIs, and they are promised release back to their home country if they meet their targets. However, we all know that's not true. This facility is like a real prison surrounded by barbed wire. All the windows are sealed, surveillance cameras are everywhere, phones are forbidden, and passports are confiscated. Only occasionally are the victims allowed to send a few messages home to assure their families they're safe, or go out to take some photos of themselves having fun to deceive the public. Other than that, every aspect of their lives is completely controlled. The entrances are secured with fingerprint scanners, and there is a dedicated security team armed with firearms guarding the premises. Anyone who resists or refuses to work like Fan Xin will be beaten, and as we've seen, he even had his ear torn. The most serious offenses here are attempting to escape or sending messages for help to the outside. Those who try to run away and fail will be electrocuted, locked in an iron cage, or in more severe cases, beaten until their legs are broken. By this point, everyone suddenly realizes they've been deceived. But it's already too late. The chances of being sent back are very slim, because when the bosses no longer need them, they simply sell their workers to other companies. In this way, hundreds of people are swept up into a network that is extremely tightly organized and systematic. Getting in is easy, but getting out is hard. So, are you curious about how, with this setup, one of our operations would unfold step by step? This is when the film introduces us to Etienne, the big fish about to get caught in the net. First, to reach a wide audience, this company pays film service providers to distribute flyers and insert advertisements with offers like a free first trial, special discounts for new members, and so on and so forth. In fact, with a team of skilled programmers, they can even easily send messages to hundreds or thousands of other users. Surely, all of you have seen plenty of spam messages advertising online gambling, right? Partly out of curiosity, and partly because of the beautiful background, featuring the model Anna Luong, Etienne clicked to try playing. At first, the gambling site let him win a small amount of money, mainly to keep him as a customer and lure Etienne into playing a second time. After that, his number of wins gradually decreased, inversely proportional to his growing desire to recover his losses. The more he lost, the more Etienne wanted to play. He believed in the famous martingale strategy, which advises investors to double their bet after each loss, so that a single win would recover all previous losses. And then, the real dream-chasing mechanism only truly began when the big fish had spent all his own money. At this point, the scammers started to make their move. They offered unsecured loan services, enticing customers to play various games such as sports betting, cryptocurrency investment, and more. Using a fake account, the scammers pretended to leak insider information, letting Etienne win a few initial rounds to gain his trust, prompting him to borrow money from everywhere and even encouraging others to join in to receive special offers. Etienne gradually became a true gambler. The more he owed, the more he played, and the more he played, the deeper he got into debt. He sold all his designer goods, opened dozens of bank accounts, pawned his brand new Mustang, tricked his grandmother to get her savings book, and eventually even took the land title deed. If Etienne tried to be careful and called, they always had someone on standby with a few prepared lines. He poured all his assets into Ethereum, and then all the money, not just from the big players, but from his entire family and friends, vanished without a trace. They blocked his phone number and then disappeared. The operation was officially a success when manager Luke withdrew all the scammed money through hundreds of different accounts, making it impossible to trace. The total amount that Etienne played with was about 8 million yuan, which is around 28 billion VND. That alone is enough to understand why the scale of these operations can reach up to trillions. At the same time, it explains the dream salaries they can offer to people like Fan Xin, Anna Luong, or the name Huyan Trang that has been making headlines recently. Scammers are often described as individual criminals. But through No More Bets, we realize that the fishing net they cast is woven by hundreds, even thousands of workers. Everything is scripted and meticulously calculated. And it's not hard to see the painful truth that the masterminds in the shadows don't get their hands dirty directly. Instead, they hire ordinary people to deceive their own compatriots, turning them into accomplices. On the day Athene threw himself off the balcony as his family's faces turned deathly pale, on the other side of the border, the entire company held a lavish celebration, setting off fireworks. According to a businessman, setting off firecrackers here means the business made a profit, but if they launch fireworks, it means they've made billions. They don't even bother to hide the wealth they've gained from dirty money. It's a scene that would send chills down anyone's spine. In the film, after causing Athene to lose everything, the manager Luke said this: "It's because they're greedy, not because they're evil." Indeed, human psychology has played a crucial role in the operation and management of the scam organization. According to the description, every scheme is based on manipulating human nature, specifically greed, and unwillingness to accept loss. For gamblers, they can't bear to see the money they've lost disappear completely. With the thought of playing more to win it back, Athene's greed blinded him, making him unable to see that this was a game he could never win. However, the greed here also refers to the employees of the scam company, such as Fan Xin or Anna Luong. Speaking a bit about Anna, we can see that in reality, it's not that she didn't notice the shady aspects behind the enticing job offer. In fact, even when she was taken across the border, the model did not seem overly frightened. Moreover, she directly asked the manager what her quota would be. Recently, if you've been following the news, you'll know that many people, even though they are aware of the lurking dangers, still choose to leave in order to make money. The salary they can earn working for online scam organizations is so high that a lifetime of manual labor could never compare. Before being caught, Fan Xin worked for 6 years at a tech company, putting in 380 hours a month, with hardly any days off, only to ultimately lose his chance at a promotion to those with connections. But here, money flows in like water. On top of that, the longer you work, the higher your salary gets. As long as you get the job done, you get paid. Where else out there could you find a better opportunity? Because of that, the friends who joined at the same time as Fan Xin, though initially terrified, soon began chanting the slogan, "Fight once to be rich for 3 generations, sleep on the floor today, become a boss tomorrow," celebrating with joy whenever they managed to scam money from others. From here, greed and ambition are easily exploited, especially among young people. The desire to change their lives, the terrifying stories from across the border, none of it could stop them from stepping onto that dark path. And so, just like the recent case where hundreds of Vietnamese people were brought back from Cambodia, we are heartbroken to see that many of them are no longer whole. It can be seen that the film title, "No More Bets" or "Stop Gambling," at first sounds like a direct warning aimed at gamblers who still dream of beating the house. However, it is also a call to people like Fan Xin and Anna Luong, urging them not to hastily gamble their lives and futures on sweet promises. Don't let greed blind you to the true motives behind the actions of evildoers. Or else, the price you pay may sometimes be more than just physical wounds. Seeing Athene in a coma in the hospital, very likely to remain in a vegetative state for life, Anna collapses in tears, but by then any apology is already too late. From a young man who had just graduated, with a bright future ahead and a kind-hearted girlfriend, Athene is now motionless like a statue, neither truly alive nor dead. Anna indirectly caused this tragedy, and no amount of money could ever pay off the debt owed to the court of conscience. The film's ending makes the scene of the celebration party at the scam organization even more haunting. The employees are eagerly picking up money with chopsticks, completely absorbed in their enjoyment, without realizing that, across the border, in a peaceful home, someone might be seeking out bridges to end their debt. You don't need to watch a movie to see these tragedies, because in real life, you've probably heard about them more than once, haven't you? Less risky than trafficking illegal substances, but even more profitable. Those are the words used by policewoman Zhao Dongrin to describe online scam operations. Indeed, according to data from Xinhua News Agency, Chinese authorities have received and handled more than 464,000 cases of online fraud and arrested 351 leaders of criminal gangs. At the same time, they have also blocked nearly 799,000 websites related to scam activities. In Vietnam, according to statistics, for every 220 mobile phone users, there is one victim of online fraud. And the total losses in 2024 have reached 18,900 billion VND. At the sharing session with victims of online scams, Athene's girlfriend said that while smartphones make everything easier, for us, they also make it easier for scammers to reach us. In the 4.0 era, billions of dong can disappear without the perpetrator ever showing their face. We are living in a world where privacy has become almost a luxury. Names, email addresses, phone numbers, and dates of birth are all obtained far too easily, floating everywhere on the internet. From there, scam organizations can launch attacks in a variety of ways, depending on the victim's interests, occupation, and concerns. Especially since they are based in other countries, the rescue process is far from simple and requires cooperation from the respective governments. In director Chen Ao's work, Fan Xin is portrayed as an exceptionally rare individual, which is why the secret rescue codes he managed to send out were able to slip past the scammer's notice. In real life, few people are that fortunate, and as the director himself shared, many details were simplified to lessen the horror for the audience. In the final scene, even though the operation to take down Luke's trafficking ring was successful, we know that he was just a small cog in the machine, and in the shadows, there are still hundreds, thousands of cries for help, echoing from behind barbed wire walls. Therefore, perhaps now more than ever, we must always maintain a sense of skepticism and question what we see and hear. In a world where convenience comes at the cost of every personal action being exposed, protecting oneself is never unnecessary. And those are all the illegal activities that have been exposed in No More Bets. The film makes a statement. With every additional viewer, there is one less victim of fraud. It may not be truly outstanding, as the developments in the third act feel rather rushed, making the police's journey to dismantle the criminal network seem somewhat too easy. But it is precisely the film's harshness that serves as a warning to me personally, because the fate of characters like Fan Xin and Anna Luong, beyond serving as a deterrent, still carries the responsibility of preserving the audience's hope in justice and in the good things in life. In real life, many victims may not be so fortunate. Now you can play the final section, teacher. Ready, Benny,